More than bringing nature back into the city, to me it looks more like building a city in nature. Yeah, people are building this country. Singa means lion, Pura means city, so Lion City. Many bridges. This looks really cool. I'm Camilla, I make travel and geography related videos, and today we are zooming in on Singapore. Yes, Singapore. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe they should have called this country Singa-rich. In this video, I will present to you the geography and travel suggestions for Singapore. Tell me if there are any mistakes, that this video will be as correct as possible. Now, let's zoom in. Singapore lies in Southeast Asia and is an island city-state. It lies really close to the equator, just 1 degree north of it. It doesn't share any land borders, but is connected to Malaysia by 2 roads, the Johor-Singapore Causeway and the Malaysia-Singapore Second Link. Singapore borders the Straits of Malacca, the strait between Malaysia and Indonesia, as well as the Singapore Strait that borders the Indonesian Riau Islands to the south and east. Singapore has many islands, but the main island is called Singapore Island or mainland Singapore, or Pulau Ujong, that in Malay means island at the end. That's a fitting name, it lies at the end of the Malay Peninsula. Other big islands are Jurong Island, Tekong Island, Pulau Ubin, and Sentosa. And in total there are 63 islands. The northernmost point of this island state lies here, touching the Johor Strait. The easternmost point lies on Tekong Island. The southernmost point is to be found on Coney Islet, where they have a lighthouse. And the westernmost point lies on this sandbank on the main island. We all know that Singapore is a small country. But how small? With 728 square kilometers, Singapore is the 175th largest country, so bigger than Andorra, Barbados, and Malta. But there are plenty of people that live here. 5.6 million people live in Singapore, a little less than Denmark, and a little more than Central African Republic. That's a lot of people in such a small area. The population density is nearly 7,900 people per square kilometer. That is 7 times the population density of Bangladesh. Singapore is the second most densely populated country in the world, just coming behind Monaco that has even twice as big a population density as Singapore. Wow. So what is it like living in such a densely populated country? Well, I don't know, I haven't been there, but the data for life expectancy can give us an idea. In 1960, life expectancy was 65.5 years. In 2019, it has increased to 83.6 years. People live long lives in Singapore. Singapore is among the countries that have the highest life expectancy. Yay! The capital of Singapore is Singapore. And there is one city, Singapore. So what does Singapore mean? Singapore is the English name of the Malay name Singapura. Derived from Sanskrit, Singa means lion, Pura means city, so Lion City. We can relax, there are no lions here. Singapore has 4 official languages: English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. But there's kind of a 5th language here, Singlish, which is an English Creole that kind of uses all the other 4 languages. In each zooming in on video, I zoom in on the capital city and I use Street View and I pick random places to go look around. But since Singapore is its own capital city, I will combine the 2 and just do one random Street View. So here we have Singapore. There is a Jurong Bird Park, the Singapore Zoo, Botanic Gardens. They are about nature around here. Universal Studios. Wow, I went to Universal Studios in Los Angeles once. It was fantastic. It was so much fun. I don't know if it's the same or I don't know. National Museum. Here is a big airport. All right. I'm just gonna dive in somewhere here. There are many places we can go. So I'm just gonna try and go there. Yeah, so here are houses. Are we in the middle of a neighborhood? Let's see, it looks like it. Oh, it is fun to see how people live. Let's see, here we have the Singapore flag. That's a great thing. Laundry is hanging. That's a nice house. Many windows. Some flags lying here. The buildings are light in color. Probably helps against the heat. I like how they have their garbage here lined along the street. I like all these trees here. They look so tropical. Well, this is tropical. School zone. drive carefully. Another big house. Yeah, I like this. They have beautiful houses here in Singapore. I didn't know that. At least this area of Singapore. Okay, another place. I want to see the water. Let's go here. Okay, we're in a park with many tall trees. Here you can sit down under a roof in case it rains. This looks like a really good park. Many places to sit down here, so you can invite many of your friends. Oh wow, and it lies right by the sea. This is perfect. So if you want to go to the beach in Singapore, you can just sit down here on the sand. But if you're with friends that don't like sand, then they can sit up on their grass. It's perfect. Long pier here. And here's the sea. Many big boats. Oh, look, is that a tent? I love sleeping in a tent. I don't know if you're allowed to spend the night on the grass here, but that would be amazing. Well, we can't forget that Singapore is more than just the main island. I want to check out Sentosa Island. Yeah, let's just try here. Okay, a neighborhood on Sentosa, Singapore, with security cameras. Look at that house. Wow, never seen a house like that before. They have a motorcycle too. Whoa, these look really modern. I like the shapes and the windows. I like this brown color. Beautiful green grass. This looks really well maintained. This is beautiful. Probably working hard on keeping their lawns and their trees beautiful. Look at that house. Yeah, I like this. Even the lanterns look good. Wow. Singapore is really neat. Look at these lines though. They aren't very straight. I wonder what that is about. Oh, and I want to show you one last thing. This is not going to be a random pic, but I have to show you this one building. Maybe you can see it from here. Let's see, here's a big Ferris wheel. Here you can come out of the elevator. Here's Gardens by the Bay. I will talk about that in the travel suggestions section. This all looks so green and new and modern. I love this. Yeah, and here comes what I wanted to show you. Look at that building! Wow! Yeah, so if you know Singapore and if you've ever been here, you've probably seen it before, but maybe this is new to you. So this is Marina Bay Sands. It's a hotel with a swimming pool here on top. Let's start with the topography. Singapore is mostly low-lying. Almost 2/3 of Singapore does not rise more than 15 meters above sea level. However, there are hills and valleys, especially in the northwest of the country, with sedimentary rock. See, these are some real hills, and also in the south we can find this hill called Mount Faber. So Singapore is definitely not all flat, and the country has a varied topography even though it is pretty small. The tallest point of the country lies in the center of the main island and is called Bukit Timah Hill at 163 meters or 535 feet in the nature reserve. There is a rock there that marks the tallest point. Cool! So if you ever want to summit the tallest mountain of a certain country, then this is a great place to start. So you already know that Singapore is a pretty small country, but what you maybe did not know is that Singapore is still growing due to the reclaiming of land from the sea. Yeah, people are building this country. Originally, the islands were covered with tropical rainforest and mangrove swamps. But since the 1800s, and especially in the 1970s and 80s, people have built buildings, roads, parks, shopping malls, industry areas that took the place of the natural landscapes. But people have worked hard to bring nature back into the city. I will show you more on that in the travel suggestions section, but I can already tell you that Singapore has parks, forests, gardens, lakes, and rivers. When we look at this map, we can see that Singapore has rivers. The Kallang River is the longest, with 10 kilometers, and it runs from the Lower Piers Reservoir, streams southwards through the big city, and streams out into the Marina Bay and into the Singapore Strait. Also meeting in the Marina Bay are the Singapore River. We can follow inland a bit here. Many bridges. This looks really cool. And we also have the Geylang River lying here, and the smaller Rochor River here. Lakes. Singapore has no natural lakes, but there are man-made reservoirs to store fresh water. For instance, we have the Lower and Upper Piers Reservoirs. They lie in the center of the country, close to the tallest point, Bukit Timah Hill. And just looking at it on the map, I can tell it must be beautiful there. I can see there are trails here in the forest. I found a picture here in Street View. Wow, this is gorgeous. It doesn't look like you're in a large city. I wonder if you can hear traffic while you're there, or if it's more the singing of birds that dominates. You're free to comment if you know. Opposite side time. I boom a ruler in Singapore, move it for 20,000 kilometers around the globe, and this is funny. Remember I told you that Singapore lies really close to the equator? Well, now we are still close to the equator, obviously, but in a country whose name literally means equator. We're in Ecuador. There is so much to do and so much to see in Singapore, so it's hard to just pick out a few. I really love nature, so I'm gonna focus on how to experience nature in Singapore. First, a very famous activity in Singapore, maybe the most well-known activity to do there, is walk through this urban nature park in the south, close to where the rivers meet, called Gardens by the Bay. Look at this place. More than bringing nature back into the city, to me, it looks more like building a city in nature. They did such a cool job here. I love the trees, they kind of look like umbrellas. And this bridge here going from tree to tree. And this building here, the Flower Dome, is the largest glass greenhouse in the world. Wow! If I'm ever going to Singapore, which would have been really cool, I would definitely want to come here. I wouldn't mind the crowds and tourists. This looks fantastic. Okay, on to the next destination. We're moving to the center of the country where you can find forests and reservoirs. And in addition to the lower and upper Pierce reservoirs, there's also the MacRitchie Reservoir. There is boardwalk here that make it easy to walk along the water. And this makes for a great getaway from the city. And if you are quiet, you might even see some wild animals. Well, maybe you don't have to be quiet even. This reservoir is famous for the treetop walk, a suspension bridge. It is reachable by trails and you get to walk through the trees. Singapore, you are impressing me. Okay, the last destination does not lie on the main island, it lies on a smaller island. From the main island, you can take a ferry to many smaller islands, for instance, St. John Island and Lazarus Island, connected to each other with a bridge. Here you can find a pretty large beach, the Lazarus Island Beach. This seems like a great place to just sit down and relax after having walked a lot in the city. And when the night falls, you can get a great look over the Singapore skyline and see what it looks like at nighttime. That's the advantage of islands hopping, you get a better view over the city. Singapore is a small country, but it is vibrant. People have high life expectancy, maybe because of all the man-made and gorgeous nature that they have there. I'd be lucky if I made it there someday. I'd be lucky to see it for myself. These were some geographical facts on Singapore. Next time we're gonna go back to Africa, to Sierra Leone, and we're zooming out. Thank you for watching, guys.